Welcome to Body Story with Coco. How are you, Erin?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing delightful. It's Friday Eve, which means Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, please introduce yourself, your name, where you live, what you do, and why you said yes to Body Story.
Sure. So my name is Erin Wyan. I am 34. I up until about a year ago, I was living in Washington, D.C., but now I live in Roanoke, Virginia, which is where I'm from. At the moment, I'm kind of in between jobs, but my
Mhm.
last previous role was a project manager at one of the embassies in D.C. So I am here, and I've known Coco for a while now, about a year. And I guess I'm just thrilled to be asked because I think this is just so important. Like,
Mm.
I think there's just such a narrative that's been dictated, especially to women, on how to like look and feel and be a certain way. And I think this project is just so nice and empowering because it's everybody's story is different, everybody's experiences are different. So I'm really excited to just even be asked to contribute. And yeah, I'm here.
Cool.
I'm
Let's
ready.
let's just dive in. The
Yeah.
question where it all gets started. What is your body story and where would you like to start, Erin? Where does your mind go right away?
So, I mean, when I think about like my body, I think about like what it can do and like what it gives me. Like the way my body is and the way it works is like truly a gift. Like
Yeah.
the
A lot
way
of women have said that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny because like I think it just takes a while because when you're younger, I'm just being bombarded by images of like magazines and stuff like of what you think like a woman should look like, right?
Mm.
Like and as being
What are the images that come up to your mind right away, Erin?
of what I should look like.
That
I
you feel
mean,
even like, when you were younger, that you just felt like were continual things that you saw that kind of were images that,
yeah. I mean, I think it was very much an emphasis on like uh skinny, let's not talk about those low-rise jeans because I'm never going back to that era. But like those low-rise jeans, like super
oh, with
close,
the
like
crop top and the belly button piercing.
yeah, and like, that 90s kind of like um just yeah, I mean, like they're the type of girls that like the way the image is like they want to be your friend, and it's almost like, well, what if you don't look like that, And it kind of
Mm.
put these like thoughts in your head, and especially back then, I feel like we weren't seeing as many diverse images of women as we are now,
Heck
which I'm really
no, not at
appreciative.
all. We're in a totally different place now.
Yeah, so it was very much that image of like sort of the rail thin kind of white woman,
Mm.
with kind of European features,
Hmm.
straight hair usually. That was
I
kind of
remember wanting straight hair when I was younger, Erin.
right.
Like
That
straight. I remember how, like, looking specifically because a lot of my childhood we spent at the pool. So
yeah,
seeing how different when you have straight, like fine hair, it looks totally
yeah,
different wet when you get out of the pool. And I
a
remember
hundred
seeing
percent.
the way the hair looked and being like, should my hair look like that? Like hair, a
Yeah,
whole, like even the look behind like what hair should look like and what was glorified, you
right.
know?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So like my hair has always been curly. I have different texture hair. My hair is in no way similar to sort of black hair, but we have similar things
Mhm.
in common. So it's like,
It was funny when I would pick my fro out, like in high
uh-huh.
school. White folks loved when I would pick my fro out. And I'm just like, I think when I look at it now because of my perspective, and I just I love really welcoming whatever people's curiosities, Erin. When I
Yeah.
think about the genuine curiosity and excitement that white folks would have over seeing my hair so full and thick,
Hmm.
I think a part of it was just like the curiosity that they weren't able to get their hair that thick and full, and then I could apply some
Right.
heat and it could be straight. So
Right.
it's really a perspective now that I see of more,
Mm,
you can be curious, but there's a way to approach it. And I
right.
think that's such a part of the body story when I connect. And I've had some people that are like, what are white women saying when you're interviewing them about their body story?
Yeah.
And so I just think it's important, even as a woman of color, to kind of talk about what were some of the images, even as a youth, that
Sure.
stuck in my mind that played out in how I even thought about my hair. It's really,
Right.
really interesting, Erin.
Yeah, and I mean, especially because like I'm from a rural area, and growing up, there weren't that many people of color like in my high school, like at all. I think we had a total of 3 Black people in my
Wow.
graduating class.
Girl.
My
Ooh.
graduating class. I know. So like I just think about like it's it almost like I had to leave the area to actually like understand like,
Mm,
oh, people of color have different hair than like hair texture than me.
mm,
Like there's a difference there. Like,
mm.
like, and again, I'm in no way comparing my experience to that of a woman of
Yep.
color. Like, because I have a lot of privilege and I completely understand that. And like my
Hmm.
experience has been shaped by that privilege, especially being a white woman in a rural area. But
Yep.
like especially when it comes to like the hair, but it's like similar to what you said, like my hair is super fine. Um,
Yes.
I don't need to wash my hair as much as other people. So like I try to keep the curl as much as I can.
Okay.
Um, and I remember I really have a vivid memory of being in high school and being like, I want to do something different for homecoming. And like we straightened my hair. My
Okay.
friend straightened it. I never did anything with my hair because it's almost quite the opposite. I always grew up loving my hair and I always
Okay.
liked the uniqueness of it because
Mm.
it was curly and I got my dad's hair, right? There was like a pride in that, like getting
Okay.
that like my dad had. So I
Yeah.
remember when my best friend straightened my hair and I like looked in the mirror and I cried because it's like so
Oh,
different. It was
yeah.
the image was just so different. And I mean, it really is like it's proper fine hair. I mean, I look like a different person if I straighten it, but then of
I
course,
can't even imagine, Erin. I've only seen you with your hair, little tendrils.
yeah, yeah. And then and even when you straight curly hair, and I'm sure you probably understand this, it's going to be different lengths
Yeah.
because yeah. So,
Oh,
but yeah, it's
I know I
interesting.
totally like took that conversation left field, but thanks
No,
for
no.
entertaining me.
No, that's okay. Yeah. So I mean, I really do think like an identity part of me is my hair because it's
Mm.
so different. Well, not different, but it's so striking, I guess you could say. And I've
So
always really
when you
enjoyed it.
see your hair, compare it to who do you think your hair is striking just when you look at yourself and how it complements your full bodiness, or how do you feel that your hair feels striking in comparison?
I
'Cause
think it's just I like it short. I think
okay, yeah,
it's a little bit more striking that it's like you have somebody with curly hair that's like short,
okay,
it's shorter.
yeah.
And I've always definitely thought this like it is the hair I'm meant to have. Like it is just the
Mm.
hair I'm meant to have. Like I feel more like me when my hair is like this, and I definitely feel more like
Yes.
me when my hair is blonde. So I
Wow,
am
to hear you
definitely like,
say that statement you just said,
uh-huh,
it's the hair I'm meant to have. I feel most
yeah,
natural. I That statement, Erin, that resonates with so many women who are going to watch and listen to this that have
yeah,
ever felt some kind of way about their hair and are at a place where they just really feel connected to it and they
right,
feel like them full selves. Like as a blonde, I feel like my sister Noelle feels like
yeah.
her most on and rocking when she's a blonde, even hair
Yeah.
color. Like I was
Yeah.
just telling my sister today, I'm thinking about going black for the winter, but there's been something I've been
Mhm.
liking about having these like lighter streaks in it. It gives me a
Yeah.
different feel, you
Yeah, for
know?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never it's funny because like, as a child, I would have, like, little old ladies coming up to me and be like, "Oh, your hair is so pretty, when I was your age, I wanted curly hair," and I was like, "Yep," and I love my hair, but that's always been that outlier of me highlighting how much I love my hair and how much it makes me feel like me,
Wow.
right? So, yeah.
Oh, that's fun. How do you keep it? Like, what's your favorite go-to products? Like for me, girl, it's
So,
evolved through the years. That hair
tell me about
products,
it.
do you remember did you ever use those big jugs of gel or the like, can you imagine
The
all the hair
The
products?
VO5, that VO5 gel that came in like the big tub. Well, like it has been a journey in terms of like figuring out what works best for my hair because,
Okay.
and like, it's funny because like all my friends growing up, they had the straight hair,
Okay.
like I can't do what they do. Putting my hair up in a ponytail, especially because when I was in high school, it was like long. Putting my hair
Okay.
up in a ponytail is just not the move. Like it's
Really?
like it just like no body to it. So it's almost like growing up, my mom put a lot of serums in my hair, and
Okay.
that was kind of helpful, and that kind of started it. Um, I found the best like hair curl cream, and of course they discontinued it. So it's almost like I feel like it's this journey
When
with
that
hair.
happens, oh,
No,
you're just
it's
like,
like
who do I need to write to? Whose
yeah,
email do I
exactly.
need?
Yeah. So yeah, so I actually find a lot of like the hair products that are for people of color are actually it's almost too heavy and I don't need
Okay.
as much moisture.
Probably because it's not, you need, girl, our hair needs moisture. We need to add
Yeah,
moisture and keep it, moist.
yeah. Yeah. So my hair, I mean, I think all curly hair to a degree is going to be dry, but like
Okay,
with mine,
yeah.
very much like the least amount of product, the better. So I find curl
Mm.
creams are the best for me because
Hmm.
I was a big mousse and gel girl in high school, and I just would look
Oh,
at those photos like the crunchy and like, ooh,
oh, do you remember that was like you were cool if you had that crunchy hair? I mean, we would lather. I remember the big bottles, they were like blue LA. Do you
yeah,
remember what was it called? LA gear or
LA
LA cool
LA
LA
look, LA look, or
LA
something like
look.
that.
It had like was it like a little lightning bolt? But girl,
Yeah, yeah.
I remember the smell and you just like squeeze it in your hand and
Mhm.
oh the hair and there's all
Yeah.
girls in my family. So we
Uh-huh.
stayed in the mirror like dealing with our hair, trying to
Yeah.
slick it back, trying to
Right.
wow. Oh,
Yeah.
what a journey.
Yeah, so I mean now it's very much I put on like it's a 10. So I put it's a 10 and everything is like I when I get out of the shower, like I put on it's a 10 and then I'll
Okay.
put on a little bit of curl cream. The one I'm using now is called Mark Anthony, not to be
Oh,
confused with the singer. He's
okay.
apparently somebody different. And he's made like a curl it's like a curl cream of some sort, but it smells like lemons. It's really nice. And
Ooh.
it's $7 at Ulta if any girls need it. So if
Okay,
somebody's out
okay.
needing it.
What are the go-to scents? What kind of scents do you like that work well with your body chemistry? Because I've always been a scent. My mom grew us up
Mm,
like with perfume. You
right.
perfume is like a woo, it's a
The
top
big
line of
thing.
thing in my family.
I love masculine, I guess what you could say, like masculine colognes and scents. Like I personally love that musky,
Mm,
uh, like my
yes.
go-to perfume right now is like an Yves Saint Laurent that's for a men's cologne. Like that is my go-to right now because I love those like
I
musky
smelled that
smells.
recently.
Oh, did
Ooh,
you? Yeah.
girl, that
It,
is no joke.
yeah, but I
Ooh,
love like floral scents have never really been my thing. Like
okay.
I don't know if you remember, I don't know if this was your experience in like school, but like every girl I grew up with was obsessed with Victoria's Secret Love Spell and I could not stand
Oh,
it.
I couldn't either. I
Oh, it was
remember I went
awful.
through this vanilla phase that my mom, I know my
Oh,
mom wanted to like strangle. She hated vanilla. I think to this day I can't stand it, but everything had to be
right.
vanilla. And it
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
cheap stuff. So it wasn't no elegant vanilla.
No, I was a cucumber melon girl myself. Cucumber melon, so that was
Yes,
mine.
totally.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah, but I
funny.
prefer like I think it kind of goes with my style too that I prefer like let's like if I'm going to go into an office, which I haven't been in a while because of
Yeah.
COVID, but like if I
Yeah.
was in an office, I prefer those tailored looks. I prefer those like nice blouses with like a nice
Mm.
pant and like anywhere from like loafers to like nice polished boots. Like I like those like nice details. So I feel like that kind of goes along with
Oh.
that perfume or that scent preference kind of goes along with that. So yeah, that's my go-to.
Can I take kind of the blend of the masculine smell and kind of
Mm-hmm.
that tailored look and
Mm-hmm.
transition the conversation a little bit into women who hold alpha energy?
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
talk about that? Because
Sure.
Erin, I think as a woman that has, I've been around all sorts of women my whole life. I love
Right.
talking to women as a fitness instructor. That's how we're connected through fitness and through you
Yeah.
coming to my classes and bringing the
Which I love it.
energy, you
Yes.
know? But I can tell when I'm in the company of a woman that carries alpha energy proudly. So I'm curious from you, Erin, like with your body story and how you approach just kind of even fitness and running marathons and just kind of how
Mhm.
you move in the world, even as a wife.
Yeah.
How is that like a part of your story, would you say?
It's funny you say alpha energy because I definitely wouldn't categorize myself as an alpha at all. But it's interesting
Really?
you say
Okay.
that. Oh yeah. I mean
Okay.
I appreciate it. I mean I feel like I have alpha
Alpha
tendencies.
energy. There's
Alpha energy.
difference. There's
There
a
we go.
difference, Erin.
So maybe I do have alpha energy, but I don't know. It's really so like I've always been into fitness. I've always really enjoyed um feeling good, like
Yeah.
working out for the sake of working out because it feels good.
Yeah.
And actually I'm kind of segueing for a second because I've actually really noticed recently. I just taught my first ever spin class on Tuesday.
Shut up, Erin. Did you really?
Yeah, yeah. I've
I'm
been
so
and
proud of
this has been a
you.
goal of mine for legit like maybe 6, 7 years, and I finally like achieved it. Like I got everything I needed. So
Oh
I was
my gosh. I'm so
real
proud of you. That is how, oh,
thanks. I'm super excited. So I'm actually going to be teaching my first. I have a class every Wednesday now, which I was
ah,
subbing last week for somebody, or subbing on Tuesday for somebody, and
okay,
everybody
okay.
was like, "I would
Oh,
not have." I told people after class, I was like, "This is my first spin class ever, so thank you all." And they were like, "I would have never known that. This
oh.
was so good." And I was just like, "Oh,
Ah.
I
Erin,
was
that, and you
thrilled."
know what? Once you get your first one, it's like you got the taste. And
I
the
got the
fact that you
taste.
have something consistent, how did it
Uh-huh.
feel being up there, really kind of setting that tone and being the role model there as the coach
Sure.
in
Oh, I like
class?
it was like thrilling because like,
Mm,
hey, I haven't been in like a group cycle like that since before the pandemic. And
yeah.
I have done indoor cycling in some degree for like over a decade now. So like it was
Wow.
just really thrilling to actually like be up there and like I'm teaching, I'm not taking it, I'm teaching it. And then just remember like remembering like what do I need in a workout? Okay,
Mm,
sometimes I need someone to be like, look, guys, this is hard, but I'm here with you. Like taking that and putting that into practice. And a lot of it was like, and I've used some of yours because I was like, what is your intention today? We need to set our intention. Like, what are you gonna get
oh.
out of this workout? So yeah, it was just really nice. And then,
Oh.
telling them like, look, guys, this is hard. You could have been anywhere else in the world right now, but you decided to be here and to work on yourself, and you should be really happy with that. So like highlight
Oh
the fact that like
man.
this may not be everybody's cup of tea, but like I want you to come in here for 45 minutes and commit yourself to making yourself better. How does
Mm,
that make you better? Like with me, it's like protecting my peace, right? Like when I work out, that's how I protect my peace, which is I'm able to
mm,
pour from a glass once I've filled mine, right? Like that's how I
of
approach like
course.
fitness and I approach myself because I can't be my best self if I don't have what I need, right? So
But I
like how
think
I
there's something in vulnerability, like you even
Mhm.
disclosing to that class that was your first class as a
Mhm.
coach. And even as someone, I spend a lot of time looking at other people, and you're going to notice this now that you're fully in this, Erin,
Mhm.
how when it comes to fitness, how this industry, it really has become very about body and looks.
Yeah.
And you and I were just talking about
Yeah.
some cute leggings the other day. You even sent me the link. Thanks for those. They were
Yeah,
different
no
colors.
worries.
Those are so cute. So, but just even how as an instructor, when I was new
Mhm.
in coaching, now it's a lot less. I like the how I dressed and what I wore.
Yeah.
If that wasn't together, I wasn't feeling confident at all.
Right.
And
Mhm.
now, even though it is important that I wear things that make me feel good, I feel like they hold me in, they make me feel strong. That's really the
Right.
intention. How is it going to make my body feel as I'm instructing, as I'm coaching? But I
Right.
do feel that's a lot. How you're feeling and presenting, I feel what you wear and how you express yourself has a lot. You've talked about having curly hair that you
Oh, for
like to keep
sure.
blonde. You always have
Yeah.
some bold pop, whether it's your nails, your lip. So you just really
I
start to
try.
see how these things become a part of your story and what they mean
Yeah.
to you, what they do for you, you
For
know?
sure. Yeah. I mean, I am, it's interesting because I only recently started getting heavily tattooed in the last like 5 years or so. And
Yes.
and like one of my favorite part of my body is like it's my hair, but it's also my legs. Like
Mm,
I love my legs. I
mm.
like in my mind, like they are like beautiful pistons that just like keep me up and me
Ooh.
work me. So it's
Ooh,
just
girl, you said beautiful pistons. Oh, snap.
are because like they keep me moving and they keep me grounded and like my
Yes.
especially when I'm running marathons, like I in the moment like you're running it and there are aspects of especially every marathon where you're like super vulnerable and you're like I don't know if I can do this. I have cried at every marathon afterwards, but I
Mm,
have cried during marathons as well. Like it's a super vulnerability that you're almost
mm,
breaking yourself down and like building yourself back up,
mm.
and then like once you're done you're like I can't believe I did that, but then in the moment like it's you have to go to this like place in yourself where there's this grit that you didn't know that you
Mm.
had, and you're like I am doing this. And especially if I ever have a difficult moment like that, I look at myself and I'm like I have had difficult moments in my life. This is not the hardest thing I've ever done. Like there are other things in your life that have been way more difficult than this, Erin. Like cross that finish line, you know?
Girl, I have said that. I know I done said that in boot camp. That's my go-to
Yes.
line. We will be holding that plank. I don't know why I love planks so much. Y'all get so annoyed when I hold them planks. I'm like, y'all have done something harder than this before.
But it's true. And in the moment,
Yes.
you need a mental reminder to be
Yes.
like,
What you're
this is the
capable
hardest.
of, what
Yeah,
your body
exactly.
is capable of.
Yes. And that's why, like, honestly, when it comes to myself and my body, like, nothing has given me more confidence in myself and the ability to look at myself and be like,
Mm.
I love me than running marathons. Like,
Wow.
I am so
Whew.
confident. Like, I love it. I look at it, I look at it as a way of like, this is what I can do. And I'm preparing my body
Mm.
to push me to a limit that like I don't know what's going to happen. And that's the beauty of marathons. Like you could train and be completely perfect, and on the day it does not turn out the way you wanted. That's exactly what happened to me in Chicago a couple weeks ago. Like it was my worst race. I definitely cried like 4 times. Like I had to stop and literally like hands on my knees, like make myself cry because I get this tightness in my chest, and like crying's the only thing that makes
Out.
it better, and like just getting it out. So like, but that's kind of like life, right? Like you could do everything right and it doesn't end up the way you wanted. But
Mm.
like that journey there has made me feel the most confident woman. I love it. I love my body. And I'm way more into showing it off now than I ever was before because
Really?
yeah, for
Tell me
sure.
more about that.
I post more bikini pics on the gram.
Ah,
But I'm very into like highlighting
okay.
like look, like I like to work out. I like this is who I am and this is what my body looks like.
Mm.
This is it. Like I don't like to do filters. I don't like to do any of that. Like
Mm.
you're gonna see my sunburnt body. Uh
Girl,
because it's glowing.
you better put your SPF 75 on. You better layer
I
up,
am.
girl.
Don't worry,
I'm playing.
I'm on an SPF 50 regimen like all the time. But I'm definitely more into it. It's interesting the more like tattoos I've gotten, and I've got like the tattoos I've gotten recently are from the top of my right thigh down to my knee, and I'm actually just trying to decide whether or not I want to go below the knee. But like that has been a big thing for me to like look at these pieces that I like. I actually feel more like myself when I have tattoos. Like I almost feel
I
like
was gonna say, can you talk about what does that do for you in your body when you look at your body with your tattoos on it, Erin? What is that?
it's
What's the
it's
appeal of that for
it's
you?
interesting because the first ones I ever got were like I got my dad's name on my ribs like over a decade ago, and
Okay.
I but then probably in 2015 after I did my first marathon, I was like, oh, let me just celebrate. And there was a tattoo convention in DC, which I would highly recommend. By the way, it's a great people watching. Even if you don't
Okay.
get tattooed, it's great people watching. Um,
Awesome.
so I got this tattoo from a guy I never met. I
Okay.
just something he did in a portfolio, and I was like, I really like this. Can you add this, this, and this? And he's like, yeah. Drew it up for me and put it on me, and I was like, that's such a weird like relinquishing of like control
Mm.
because that's
Wow.
an aspect of like tattooing, right? Like the image in your mind, it's not going to be what the tattoo artist is going to 100% do, but like there has to be some sort of like a release of control there that actually I find super liberating. And this is
Mm.
how it happens with all tattoos. When I first get my tattoo, I'm like, I don't know, but then it takes a week or two, and I'm like, oh my god, I love it. I love it. This is who I am.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
weird. It's weird. And I found a style that I've really liked, like with American traditional. And honestly, like I've always had a thing for tattoos, but then I think pulling that trigger to actually get your first one, it's like
Girl,
it's like potato
all
chips.
the women in my family have them, Erin. I'm the only one
Yeah.
that doesn't. Nothing has landed with me. I remember dating this guy years ago, and he had a ton of tattoos. I find him very hot.
Yeah.
Whether tattoos or not, I really I appreciate somebody who takes good care of their body. Anywho,
Yeah.
back to this gentleman. I remember him looking at my body once and he said, "You would look so beautiful covered in art." Like, and I was like, he saw it as art, like just
Yeah.
having art on, and I had never thought
Sure.
about that in that
Yeah.
way. And it helped me think about the why behind people getting tattoos. They
Mm-hmm.
want beautiful art that they love to be a part of them on their body the rest of their lives.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think it's interesting because I think with some people when I'm like, I'm just gonna get tattooed, and they're like, you sound so like relaxed and blasé about it. And it's not really like that at all. It's more of a like the how the tattoos I have like make me feel like myself and of like I feel way more myself when I show them off. I love them. I will say, being a woman with thigh tattoos, you get a little bit of unwanted attention, which is actually quite frustrating because
Is it?
sometimes random dudes will be like, I like your tattoos. And like, I challenged one guy once. I said, which one? And he's like, oh yeah, your tattoos. And I literally pulled my leg up. I was like, tell me which one you like. And then he like walked away awkwardly
But
because I
see,
just,
but even that, Erin, and the more of these interviews I'm doing, that is a thread every woman is saying. Some
yeah,
unwarranted comment. You
yeah,
made a choice to put a significant piece of artwork on your body, and this
right,
stranger feels that they can make it. Would they do that if a man was showing his thigh tattoo? That
right.
is the question I ask. And if the
Yeah,
answer is no, keep your comment to yourself.
yeah,
Admire it
100%.
in your head, keep
Yeah,
your comment to yourself. And that
yeah,
is frustrating is the word, Erin, because the more and more interviews I'm doing, the more
yeah.
more experiences I'm becoming aware of in the world as a woman, it is
Mhm.
frustrating.
Right. Yeah, it really is. And it's interesting because like I a couple years ago I was at my apartment in DC's pool and the lifeguard took it upon himself to come over to me and talk at me. I will say at me because I was not reciprocating. And
Okay.
the man was asking me about my tattoos and touched my leg. I was like, I literally said, "Don't touch me. I'm not interested in having this conversation with you." But like it's the onus that men have the assumption that like I can do this, it's okay. That's the frustrating thing I have. And I have
Oh.
frustration with the fact that like they use it as an excuse to talk to you.
Mm.
Notice how the conversation never really continues after that because they just want to be able to say like, oh, I want to be able to speak to you. And they'll use some excuse to be like, where do you get them done? And like, I know well you don't care. Like it's
Oh.
more of an excuse of like, but yeah,
Yes.
I don't get that as much now that I moved out here,
Mm.
but in sort of a rural
Yeah.
part. But yeah, I think just the fact of where I have my tattoos, like so say if it was like it was a arm sleeve, right? I think it's a
Okay.
different story. But because it's on my thigh, it's a has sexual connotations,
Let
even
me
though
ask you
there's
this.
nothing sexual about it.
When you're walking with your husband, Erin,
Hmm,
do you
hmm.
still get those same comments? See
No.
that? Even
Yep.
that. It's like,
Yep.
so you're capable of shutting your damn mouth.
Yes.
You're
A hundred
capable of
percent.
looking and shutting up. So
Yeah,
let's make this a best practice every day of your life. How about
for
we try
sure.
that?
For
So when
sure.
I
And
see that you're
yeah.
capable of it,
Hmm.
get it done. And this is something men need to hear. There's a
Yeah.
lot of different intentions behind this body story, Erin.
Hmm.
And more, this one I didn't even think about with women being so honest about their experience in the world,
Yeah.
living in their bodies,
Hmm.
choosing to put art on their body. And as a result of that, because you're a woman with an exposed thigh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
warrant this comment.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's too
And
much.
yeah, and I've even been in situations where like people are politely asking me about it because we've had a conversation about it. That I don't mind.
Sure.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Um, but I've had conversations where I've like almost like pulled up something to show them, and they go, "Ooh." Like the act of showing like 2 more inches of my thigh than was exposed before is like such a bold thing to. It's just weird to me.
I just
It's weird to me.
yeah. But
Yeah.
even that makes me curious. What makes that person so uncomfortable with seeing a
Right.
thigh? So that's just
Right.
like, ooh, I need to talk to them about their body story.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah. So, but overall, like
Oh,
I love it. I get a tattoo for every marathon I've done. So I've done 7 now. And I'm trying to do the world major marathon. So I've done
girl.
4 out of the 6. So I got Tokyo and Berlin or Tokyo and Boston's left. So and then
Ooh.
once you've done the 6, you get this big medal and like it's like a big deal. So I really want that. Um,
Okay.
but it's just a nice challenge to myself. Like I don't know
Yes.
if you're like this when you work out. Like I'm goal oriented to a degree, but overall when I work out, it's for me it's like maintaining myself and my mental health. So like
Mm,
as long as I'm maintaining and I have like a goal like peppered in here and there in the year. Like so my next one I really want to run like a fast half marathon. So like
okay.
that's gonna be kind of like my next goal. Uh,
Nice.
but yeah, I mean, I like nothing has made me more confident about myself than running. It's crazy. Like I feel so good and so strong
Mm.
and like happy. And like you're crossing that finish line after 26.2 miles and you're just like, it's like beast mode, honestly. You're just like, look what I just did. I just did this. This is like, it's just this weak tapped in energy. Like I'm in love with myself anyway,
Girl.
but I'm in love with myself like tenfold after a marathon. Like
Oh, Erin. And
yeah,
just to hear the excitement now, and when you talk about these in person, you just,
yeah.
to find a connection like that, it is really
Uh-huh.
beautiful and just, it keeps you so in tune with your body. I even love the symbolism of getting a tattoo after each marathon. It's like this,
Yeah,
oh, it's just so powerful, Erin.
like
So
a journal entry.
exciting.
I gotta put that journal entry in. Let me get that next tattoo. So yeah, for
Bust out the needle. Time to
sure.
journal.
Exactly. So
Oh,
yeah.
Erin. Oh, honey, this has been just lovely.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
If there's, I mean, I just love, girl, we went from talking about hair
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
marathons to being harassed on our thighs. I just
Yeah.
love these body stories. This is why I told y'all don't get in your head too much about it. We just show up and talk.
Oh, exactly. It's been great. So, uh,
What would you say, Erin, to a woman in high school or college age, teenager, early 20s that's watching this, Erin? What would you like to leave this young woman with?
so I would comment by saying your experience is 10 times more difficult than I think mine or yours was because we didn't grow up with social media. Like on top of that, like I think like the social media aspect of like being a young woman and growing up with this and like again, it kind of goes back to that like how am I supposed to look? How am I supposed to feel situation? Like getting that pushed on you all the time is so toxic. And
Mm,
like we are not meant to process so much social media and stuff on our phones. Like we were not
mm,
made to wake up every day and the first thing we do is grab our phones and like look at likes and all this other stuff. So like on the one hand, I have to give you kudos for surviving or attempting to survive that because it's hard. It's hard.
yeah.
Like but I would definitely say like find the thing that makes you feel the most you. Like,
Mm,
what is something that you really enjoy doing that? And obviously, I'd be a big advocate. I'm sure you would be too of just movement and like beautiful
mm.
movement, and, like being in tune with yourself. But um, I would definitely just say like having a lot of confidence in the things that you like and going from there. Like,
Yes.
what is going to make you feel the most empowered, right? Like what is it that you like? Is it do you like just going for on a walk with your dog? Do you like
Mm,
hanging out with your friends? It's like it's
mm-hmm.
almost like trying to take that and move it into something that is meaningful for you.
Yes.
But honestly, like tuning out a lot of that social media, I know it's super hard to do, but like
Girl, I'm so
acknowledging
happy
that
we didn't grow up with that. Oh, I'm
me
so
too.
grateful.
Honestly, I had MySpace the very end of high school, like the very end. I remember creating a MySpace like the very end.
Girl, can you hear all this
Um,
noise? Maintenance is out in the hallway doing
no,
something. I'm
I'm
like,
good.
all right, good old
No, you're
hashtag
good.
city living.
You're good, yeah. And but like, especially with women and girls, like I do think like I don't think I was necessarily this way, but it's a lot of doing things to get to please men. Like that's
Mm,
the one thing is like
mm,
I would say like you need to be you and be confident and happy with yourself.
yes.
And if that is you should not have to use yourself and like aspects of yourself and put yourself out there in ways that you're uncomfortable just for the attention of the male gaze. Like it
Mm,
doesn't work that way. Like I am who
mm-hmm.
I am and I love who I am. And if I'm going to share aspects of my life with you, like great. But that comes from a place that I am fully happy with myself.
Mm,
Um, I I've never been the one to like of course like growing up like you do kind of want the attention of like boys or like whoever you're interested in whether that be men or women or
yeah,
if you use they them pronouns like whatever but like
yeah.
I definitely think a lot of the happiness comes from being like happy with yourself and again like I speak from that of privilege like I've never had like weight issues. I've never really I'm a white woman so I get a lot away with a lot more to be honest but
Mm.
like it's
I'm
been
glad you're aware of that privilege, and I
for
think it's something you put out there, Erin, and you
mhm.
speak to in the world. So I do appreciate that about you. That's why I wanted to have this time with you about your body story. I really
Yeah,
did.
for sure. And that, yeah, if I could say anything, I would just say like do the things that you like that make you happy. Like don't try to attract attention and attention of a lot of times turning out to be dusty men who aren't worth your
Dusty.
time.
That's
Like
funny.
dusty dudes are not worth your time. But like that would be the one thing like and honestly like having like a good connection with like your girlfriends and highlight and
Mm,
like that I think
mm,
is the biggest thing.
mm.
But yeah, just those dangers of social media, like get off that, and I'm worse with it because I'm on Instagram a lot, but I also just love the diversity of what Instagram shows me. I see different bodies, I learn things. I've been
Yes.
learning lots about like in like different indigenous culture, which I've been really appreciating because I've never been exposed to that. So it's nice to like
Mm,
there are good aspects of social media that's exposing you, but then there's also really bad aspects of it. And
yeah.
that's the other thing, if you're on a social media platform and you're following somebody that makes you feel bad, unfollow. Like you don't need,
Yes.
you don't,
Yes.
so
Absolutely. I go through my little purges every now and then. I think it's important to
yeah,
do.
for
Just kind of do
sure.
a personal check-in. What am I seeing? How's this feeding my life or pulling from it? Am I getting trapped in
Right.
comparative mind? Is this person adding
Yes.
value to my life? It's
Yeah. Because
important to reassess that.
and it's hard to not compare yourself to others, especially in social media, but like that's been the biggest thing. It's like you have a path that you're destined to go down,
Yeah.
um and beating yourself up for it because you're not at a place that you probably thought you should be is
Yeah.
just not the way to go, for
Yep.
sure. But yeah.
Oh, so much knowledge. Oh, I love this so much. I'm obsessed. It feels so selfish of me just to learn from so many women and like take all this in and like feel like it's just making me better. So thank
Right.
you.
Yeah, having me. I mean, this has just been great, and I feel like
Oh.
feel like what like the work you're doing is so important, especially just like highlighting being in tune with your body, right? And
Hmm.
this is another thing. It's just I feel like a lot of lately I've been exposed to a lot of just like people, like for example, I was running this marathon in Chicago and I started a conversation with the guy in front of me because he had run the same Berlin marathon I had run, so we were chatting. And
Okay.
when I say we were chatting, I was like huffing and puffing. Like, but I had said, oh, I'm supposed to run Tokyo, but I don't really know what's going to happen. We might start a family soon. And the first
Okay.
thing he said was like, well, if you marathon train, that'll help keep some of the weight down. I want to be like, that's not
See
like,
that?
I get really frustrated with like the
Mm.
association. Like I do these things to like lose weight or like working out
Yeah.
to lose weight. I don't do that. I do that because it makes me feel good.
Hmm.
And like calorie counting, all this other stuff, like there's so much
Mm.
pressure to feel to do that as well, that
Yeah.
like I almost feel like that that can't touch me where I am, like because I've just associated like fitness and
Yes.
moving my body with feeling good, period. There's no aspect to like, you know, food
Mm.
issues, or there's no aspect to like, I don't do this to lose weight. I do it because it makes me feel
It
good.
is, and for that to be the instant mindset instead
Yeah.
of, and that's why I think at the core, Erin, if people know their why, if you
Hmm.
fundamentally know your why on any decision you're making, it's so easy to brush off other people's opinions
For
and
sure.
not
For
waste an
sure.
ounce of energy in it. So
Exactly.
knowing your why, that is going to make you, even your mindset, it's going to make you a standout coach and instructor for your people because it's not about counting calories. I mean, honestly, Erin, that is what keeps us
Yeah.
sustainable. That's what helps you build a community.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah, and I'm
mindset.
excited to build that eventually, because not only am I doing cycle, they put me down for a hit session on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. So I'm gonna have to really dig in there. Uh,
Ooh, okay, girl.
yeah,
Oh, that is such new coach stuff. You're just jumping in like, yes, give me a class.
just give
You're
me
just
all of it. I
eager.
want to learn. Yeah, so I'm excited to get that and to highlight these things to people, like to say like, look, we move our body because it feels good. Period.
Yes,
End of.
yes.
Because
We
this
live in
is
this.
yes, exactly,
We
exactly.
live in it. Oh, honey, thank you
Yeah.
so much for being a part of this. I
Welcome. You're
can't
so
wait to share your
welcome.
story with the world.
Yeah.
And your time is precious. So thank you very much. I appreciate
No
you.
problem. Thank you, and I appreciate it. And good luck with the rest of the interviews. And I'm rooting for you as I always do.
Oh,
So,
thanks, hon. Stay tuned. We're
all
just getting
right.
started.
Take care.